Hi there, it's Jessie here and a big fat warm welcome to this big fat warm channel. Thank you very much for being here. So the tale unfolds. Time has done that thing where it's moved forward and given more information, more experience, a little bit more of life. And it's so interesting. So I'm going to share with you what's going on with me. So if you saw the last video, it's a follow-on from that. If you didn't, just glean what you can and what you want. All right, so I was in a bit of a humph yesterday, and me and this guy, we had some time apart, and he came back, and we went to a cafe, and we had a very deep, sincere conversation for hours. And it's so fascinating. Okay, so me and this guy, this is the first time that we're meeting. We spent a few days together and we're sussing each other out, you know? And it's difficult when two people are so clearly sussing each other out. Because I'm not fully letting go and opening up or being completely vulnerable when I can see that he's still sussing me out. It doesn't feel safe. I don't know him, so I don't know, you know? And this was a very frank conversation about what we want. And I had mentioned to him either earlier that day or the day before that for me, my understanding of a relationship is that the masculine provides containment, among many other things, but this was the focus, provides containment. And within that containment, the feminine is able to unleash her mystery and chaos. And we can really go there. It's so mysterious, but it needs to feel contained in order to explore. So I presented this to him, and it was the first time he had heard this. And it struck him. Oh, I've never thought about the masculine role in a relationship of containment. Anyway, we had some time apart, and in this conversation, he asked me, what's the difference in containment and taming? Taming somebody, like we tame animals, domestic animals. And for me, what I came up with, and I still stand by it, although everything can always change, everything is always changing, containment is offering a space for freedom and exploration to inhabit. Taming is about control. So what I'm looking for is a space to be free within. I don't want somebody to control me or tame me. And he was very honest and frank and told me that until now, he's always looked for a woman he can tame, control, and can fit his image or what he's looking for into his neat little box to fit his life. And he was saying, I don't know if I can tame you. I gave him a look, guys, just gave him a look. And then he sort of went, I don't think you can be tamed. And I responded, absolutely, I will not be, because I value my freedom. And I'm not looking for somebody to control me. Just myself. And so he thought about it, and he's being very open. And, I shared what I shared in the video yesterday, that a woman is not to be tamed or controlled. A woman is to be protected for her true expression. And, I believe this as true, at least for now. And there's a recognition in him. And I saw that he's attempting to step up to this. So he was like, can I contain you, Jessie? Okay, whoops-a-daisy, storage space was full. So I'm going to try and pick up where I left off. I was talking about containment. And I don't think I'm easy to be contained, but I do think it's possible. I believe there's someone out there. Anyway, as the conversation was going, we were asking each other deep questions. What's your life vision? What are your biggest dreams, your biggest fears, all of that? And I noticed at one point, there is an arrogance to him, and that's totally fine because I have arrogance too. I understand where it comes from and why we do it. It's this need to be recognized. And, he is he's mastered certain areas of his life where I haven't. For example, the material realm. He knows how to make money and he's pretty confident in that area. So there was one point where he was like, come on, Jess, I'll help you with that. And I didn't like it. And I didn't recognize that I didn't like it. What happened is I started rolling a cigarette and I was like, I'm going outside. While we were in the middle of this very meaningful conversation. And I thought, hold up, Jess, this is unfair. So I told him, let's take this outside. But I also need to tell you that bothered me. Because what it felt like is a positioning of I'm up here, you're down there, and come on. Now, it's not true that he hasn't mastered the material realm more than I have. I don't know, mastered is a big word, but much more developed. It's true, but I don't want to begin a partnership with somebody who's considering themselves above me. And I told him this, and I said, hey, listen, buddy, I may not be well developed in the material realm yet, but it's because I have consciously chosen to develop the emotional and the spiritual realms. So all of my time and all of my money is invested into those realms. And I've done that. I've chosen to do that. I've chosen to master those realms before I go into the material because I want what I build in the material to be based on what I want. And I need to know myself for that. So, all right, yeah, you may be up here, but I'm far more developed in other realms. And what I'm looking for in partnership is somebody to stand side by side. And we have different strengths and weaknesses, and we help each other in developing those, but not with this positioning. Like this, please. Anyway, we go outside, and he's like, I feel a bit taken aback. And I'm like, yeah, this is what it looks like when a woman has self-respect. Because it's true. And he knows that and he likes it, but it's also, you can see him like trying to recalibrate. And I'm not saying that like no woman self-respects herself. I'm saying like in his experience with romantic relationships, as far as what he's told me. And, the conversation went on and it came up again, actually, where he suggested that he's superior in this dynamic. And this time I just went to indicate, And, he responded really well. He was like, oh yeah, done it again. So one thing I'll say for this man is he's pretty responsive, and he also stands up for himself and stands firm in himself as much as I see, as much as he reveals, which allows me to self-reflect and check myself, because it ain't, two to tango, man. And we always attract a match of some kind, even if there's differences. Though I'm getting a no. So I don't know. Discard that. Do what you want with it. So after this long conversation, he actually promised, he said to me, Jessie, I'm willing to commit to this to see where it goes. I'm willing to try to contain you. Let's see if I can. So that allowed me to breathe out a little bit, because I feel less of this sussing out energy. And then, he asked me, so I've made this commitment, I've shared my side, what do you think? And honestly, I don't know yet. I was like, thank you very much. And now I feel more relaxed in a position to understand what it is that I want, because I don't feel so much I'm needing to prove myself, even subconsciously. So now I'm like, okay, now do I want this man? Now I've won him over, you see? And honestly, I've woken up today really afraid. And we had our mornings apart. I went out, went to find a nice cafe and a place to sit and journal and think. And what I realized is, because I'm aware now of the voices in my head when I'm afraid that are trying to protect me, and they come up with all sorts of crap, my goodness. So what I do, my tendency is I often assume that people are manipulating me or out to get me or just telling me the things I want to hear. So this all started coming in, and I started deeply distrusting this man. And I'm like, this is fear. So what am I afraid of? And I think once he offered commitment and it was my turn, I noticed my fear of commitment. Blub, 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 blub. And then the way that I protect myself from that, from the vulnerability of committing and then losing it at some point, inevitably, that it turns on people and they're the enemy, you know? So I could stop it and just think, right, so I've got fear of commitment here. And, you know, what I've realized is, like, when I'm in fear, there's a fog around me. And at least now I can recognize, oh, I'm in the fog. But I also know, and when I'm in the fog, I don't have access to clarity. So I can't listen to this. I got to stay here. And here is where the fear is, actually, somehow. And I guess that's my work, is not trying to think my way out of this fear or rationalize it or justify it, but just sit with this fear. What is it? What does it need? And its attention. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there for now. Thank you for watching. Updates coming soon. I'm leaving tomorrow, so also time back in my own space will also help reflect. So we'll see. Oh, the great game of life, hey guys. Thank you for watching. Like it if you liked it. Please let us know your thoughts down below. I'm always curious. And hit subscribe if you feel like more of this content. Otherwise, have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful life. And we got this. Yeah, we got this.